Granny say travel you work too hard to work, you forget a ball. Oh yeah. See, I can't go 2 seconds without saying ball. And like whenever like okay, someone asks me, hey, how many tickets do you need to watch Fantastic Four: The First Steps? I say, and as I'm putting my fingers up, I'm like fighting the urge to say ball in public. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what you gotta do. Oh yeah, by the way, boom. Do you see this? Yeah. You know, I always represent. Which is the biggest thing about me. I feel like because I've just got merch and I fuck with it so hard. Like, what's up clocking you? I'm standing on business. Is it? You know what I'm saying? It's because a lot like people can talk about any movies they want, right? But do they got the merch? Do they got the drip? Probably. You know, but I'm just a guy like talking about shit and good movies, and this is one of them. Yeah, Fantastic Four. As you can see, there's Fantastic Four 1 and 2, and then for some reason Daredevil in the middle. But I mean, I'll take it. All these movies are so bad. I don't know why I even have this. But I mean, they're not. After watching them recently, I watched these two before going to theaters to watch Fantastic Four, which actually was a part of my Super Fantastic Day. Because if you haven't seen my Superman review, you should check that out because I watched them both the same day. I went at 12 because I'm unemployed. I can go whenever. I went at 12, completely empty. The theater for Superman, watching 3D, and then after that I watched First Steps, and then yeah, basically I just ball. It was a Super Fantastic is what I call it, and I'm pretty sure everyone else calls it too. So yeah, definitely check out my Superman review if you haven't seen that after this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I did watch both these, and you know what? All I can say, like before I talk about Fantastic Four First Steps, let's just talk about this for a little bit. Fantastic Four, they're not as bad. I feel like they're perfect example of just perfect casting, but just terrible writing. Also, what they do to Jessica Alba in this in these movies, that's just terrible. Cry Prettier, that's actually crazy, bro. That's actually crazy. You know, like it's wrong. Like I'm saying that, like you know, and like you know, I mean, what can I say? I just love titties, bro. Like but like you know, like I'm not like overly affectionate about women and their problems. I frankly do not understand them, but that just sounds wrong. You know, Cry Prettier, that's just mad. It almost made her want to quit acting. Hollywood's evil, bro. I'm telling you, Hollywood is not it. It's not everything's cracked up to be. We're not talking about Hollywood. We're talking about Fantastic Four. This one, I actually saw a post. It said that the curse is now broken and showed the Fantastic Four movies. And ironic how the fourth time's a charm, essentially, right? The fourth movie we got, which is Fantastic Four, was actually probably the best one we have. Although, I will say the best Fantastic Four movie to date is still The Incredibles. I mean, come on. Let's be honest, bro. It's not even a Fantastic Four movie. But, like, literally, but, like, all the powers and the family dynamic, they do it the best, honestly. But once again, this is pretty good. I'd probably say, obviously, we're not including Incredibles in this because it's not actually Fantastic Four. Like, the name isn't Fantastic Four. But I'm just saying, by premise, it would be Incredibles, but hands down, I would say Fantastic Four: The First Steps are probably the best Fantastic Four movie we had so far. But once again, that's not saying much, considering the bar was literally on the floor. Notice how I don't even have Fan 4 stick? I could have gotten it, but I actively avoided to get that on Blu-ray or DVD because I could not stand myself if I had it in my collection. I will not do this to myself. I will not. Okay. If I had to rank from worst to best Fantastic Four movies, Fan 4 stick, just the worst. I watched it terrible. God, it was just such a slog. Say that again. Slog. Oh god, no, it was not good. Fantastic Four stick, it was just boring. It was no. If you didn't watch it, I had to because I'm a critic, but if you watch it, why are you watching? Just don't bother watching it. You know what I'm saying? After that would be Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. It just wasn't as good as this one. So it'd be this one, this is number 3, and the number 2, and the number 1. This would be number 2, and the number 1 would be Fantastic Four: The First Steps. That's a quick ranking of all of the Fantastic Four movies. Once again, the writing of the previous movies weren't that great, but the casting was absolutely phenomenal, right? And speaking of the cast, let's compare the cast, because I feel like the only way to really compare is compared to the older movies and how much better it's doing. In every single way, First Steps is better than all the older movies, except for maybe the casting, although all the cast members, they do a really good job of portraying their characters. Start with the fantastic guy himself, Reed Richards. Now, I will say, I do not know how to say this guy's name. Is it an I? Ion? I actually don't know how to fucking say his name, but that guy, he literally looks like Mr. Fantastic. He looks amazing. Once again, like I said, perfect casting for Mr. Fantastic. Also acts like Mr. Fantastic because, bros, even on his wedding day, he's playing around with his little thing. But, you know, it makes sense why he'd do that because, like, once again, I feel like, the more you think about it, like, obviously after watching this and then watching the new ones, you see how many similarities are in terms of the plot and writing from this to that. Like, it's almost really the same. Like, also in the new movie, Pedro Pascal, he's also, like, a really pragmatic type of guy who's always buried in his work and not giving up time to the family, which is a big deal because he is, like, it's a family. That's kind of the whole point. It's Marvel's first family, and they must be the Fantastic Four, and they have to be together. You know what I'm saying? So very much the same in the first movie where Mr. Fantastic was acting the same way. Once again, even on his wedding day, he had to always be constantly thinking about his work. But once again, it makes sense because the whole world is resting on his stretchy shoulders. You know what I'm saying, bro? So give the guy a break. You know, like that's the thing. If you're the smartest man in the world, you're constantly thinking. You can't just turn that shit off and dumb it down. Once again, ignorance is bliss. So in that case, if he's the smartest one, then his life is probably living hell, existential crisis every single day because you're the smartest, right? So yeah, cut the boy a little slack. You know, I think your marriage is the least important thing. Then, like, I'm pretty sure the fate of the world matters more. So that kind of pissed me off in the Rise of Lucifer. Just like Alba, I will say this though: the one character is an improvement over the previous movies is definitely Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman. She's actually has a role in this movie. Like obviously, like in the previous movies, like okay, how crazy is it that in both of these movies there was one scene of her being naked? It's weird. Okay, the first movie I get it because you're discovering your powers, but in the second movie, how the fuck does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens because for some reason. There was some cosmic touch I think Johnny had with the surfer, and so whenever Johnny touches someone, so in this case he touched Sue, and then they swap powers. So now she's on fire and he's invisible. So I mean that would explain why she's naked again. It's weird as shit, but you know it's weird how they find an excuse to get her naked like in both these movies. It's, once again, I'm telling you, the people behind these movies. They're just fucking weird, degenerates. I swear to God. From going from crying prettier to always having her strip, like being invisible, like 100% that's someone's kink. 100% someone who's making this movie that was their kink, bro. They want to see Jessica Alba naked. I mean, don't we all? But like, it seems predatory and it's weird, right? And I'd say that, like, it's just why are you taking advantage of a woman like that? You know what I'm saying? Especially the fact that literally proved nothing. Like, okay, they have to cross the bridge. She's taking her clothes off, and then she literally goes a little bit, and then she puts her clothes back on. Like, what was the actual point of that? Like, bro, just walk normally. You being invisible didn't change shit. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the writing, right? They'd rather do weird shit like this than actually write a good story. So, but Vanessa Kirby on the other hand, she's perfect. Like for the most part, Jessica Alba was just eye candy. But Vanessa Kirby, she actually took a stand, and she did it in a way that wasn't girl boss and wasn't woke. It was nice because it came like a mother. Like, you know, remember what she said in the movie? I'm not going to sacrifice my child for the world, but I'm also not going to sacrifice the world for my child. That was peak. That was good writing, wasn't it? That was actually good. I'm like, you go, sis. You know what I'm saying? Because that was actually a proper thing, and that's something a mother would say. Because a mother wouldn't want to get rid of her child that they were trying. Like I said in the beginning of the movie, at First Steps, they were actually saying, "Oh, we've been trying for like so long, but we finally got a kid now, who just happens to be the most powerful thing in existence, right? Which is why Galactus wants him." Which is kind of the whole plot of the movie, because Galactus is coming to Earth, and we'll talk about Galactus a little later. Let's just get through the first four first, right? He's coming to Earth, but instead Galactus says, "Yo, I will spare Earth if you give me your kid," right? The same kid they've been trying so hard to get. So obviously, they're mixed feelings, right? They don't want to do that. So now the entire public's hating them because, oh my God, give away your child, save us, right? It's the ultimate question of one life to save billions, or billions died for one life. You know what I'm saying? But once again, she said it straight. She went outside. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to sacrifice my child for this world, but I will not let this world go to shit because of my child. You can't say that's not peak writing. You can't say that's not peak writing. So once again, she has a much more central role. It feels like almost like she's a glue that holds family together. Okay, I feel like at some point, Reed really considered giving up his son. I feel like he did, because he's like the pragmatist, right? And that's always been like a strain in his and Sue's relationship, that he's always like so cold and calculated, because once again, he's the smartest man ever, right? So of course he's gonna be thinking logically and pragmatically that, yo, if we have no other choice, and I feel like if all the portals would have been taken out, he would have done it. I feel like he obviously wouldn't tell his wife that, yo, I'm about to sacrifice my son to this giant space god, right, who wants to devour our planet. He obviously wouldn't tell her. But I feel like he would have done it, because once again, he's like a logical math guy, right? He's like, okay, I give baby to angry space guy, he leave planet alone. Simple, right? I feel like if Johnny, once again, Johnny the MVP, if he did not raise her up and if he didn't prevent her from destroying the last portal, then he would have really given up his kid. I feel like he would have, yeah, hands down. Because once again, Reed's too busy, always his nose in his calculations and studies and shit, right? So I mean, like, someone's got to run the family somehow. Johnny's mostly just a mascot for the most part, although we're going to talk about Johnny a little bit, and the thing's just there. I mean, he's just the muscle, you know, like, but when it comes to, like, obviously contributing to the house, he's just like the fun uncle to be around, essentially, the thing, right? So yeah, 100% Vanessa Kirby, she knocks out of the park as Sue Storm, especially that last scene where she's single-handedly fucking pushing Galactus. Do you understand how much of a huge feat that is? Like, people sleep on Invisible Woman a lot because, oh, she turns invisible, force fields. If she locks in, bro, she can be like fucking scary. You know what I'm saying? And it was well displayed in the final scene where she's pushing Galactus to the portal single-handedly, so much so that she fucking exhausts herself, and she did die. But because her son's like the fucking prodigy or something, right? One of the most powerful beings in the universe, probably has a power cosmic more than that, right? He just touched her, and then she's back to life, right? Which is super funny because I made that parallel because also in Rise of the Silver Surfer, Invisible Woman also died. It killed her off in this movie and in the new one. But once again, in both movies that she came back. Except in the old movie, Silver Surfer touched her and she came back to life. And in this one, it was the kid who touched her came back to life. So it's weird how they have these parallels, right? I'm telling you, there's a lot of parallels between the older movies and the new one. It's almost like they're copying, but made it better. It's like they took a lot of things from this movie, but just made it better. Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman being the one good thing. She actually was pretty standout in this movie, I would say. So once again, very good. And once again, the most important thing is it wasn't like forced and it didn't feel like girl boss, right? She was leading the family, but it didn't feel like, but she wasn't undermining Reed in that type of way, because he still is a patriarch of the Fantastic Four, but she's also the matriarch, so they're working in harmony, right? Because what happens most often in girl boss type shits is that the woman's, oh yeah, look at me, I'm better than everybody else, especially the men. It's meant to demean men, but in this case, they're working side by side as a family, as family should, you know what I'm saying? So no one's better than someone else, you know what I'm saying? And once again, to get Galactus through that, they all had to work together as a team. She was pushing with all her might. I'll almost say like a good like 80%, like she was doing. I'm telling you, she was the one single-handedly pushing him. Johnny was activating the portal to open. Reed, oh yeah, he had to go get the kid because Galactus had the kid in his hand, and then the thing was just helping her because I remember Galactus was holding on to a building, so the thing, he just toppled the pillars down, so he has no more support, right? So, but like majority of the pushing was just done by Invisible Woman, which is kind of crazy, you know. But once again, we're not undermining anyone. Everyone is working together. And that's how you make the Fantastic Four team, right? Teamwork makes the dream work, essentially. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, I don't. Okay, Vanessa Kirby ain't no Jessica Alba, but she's still pretty fucking hot. You know, come on, right? And that's the number one thing for me, right? Like, I don't care like if a woman's like super strong and stuff. Is she hot? Is the question. If she is, then we good. Okay. Like Captain Marvel. Like, okay, Brie Larson is good looking. We all saw her in the black dress, but why is she so insufferable in Captain Marvel? No one really knows, you know. But anyways, yeah, Invisible Woman was actually a good upgrade, I'd say, because she has a much more standout role in the new movie. Next is of course our boy Human Torch. Cut him by Chris Evans. Once again, perfect casting. He did. Chris Evans did such a good job as Human Torch that. Him playing Human Torch versus him playing Captain America, two different things. It's like the same face, but the way he acts and just his overall aura playing Human Torch or Captain America, they're so different in the way he acts and the subtle acting details is that they seem like two different actors, but it's not, right? Because once again, Human Torch is like the almost, and personality-wise, the complete opposite of Captain America. Captain America's, you know, calm, stoic, reserved, whereas Human Torch is the complete opposite. Big, loud, boom. I mean, I'm literally on fire. Stealth isn't my thing. You know, being quiet isn't my thing. I'm literally on fire. And once again, even before he got the fire powers, he was like, once again, a lady killer, hot shot. I think he was like a fucking stunt driver. He wasn't doing all these crazy sports and stuff, just living life to the max, right? And of course, picking up chicks everywhere he goes. I did think they would tone down the amount of rizzing that Human Torch would do in the new movies, although he is still rizzing. He doesn't really like interact with them. I feel like if you want to make Human Torch, you have to have him flirt with women. He just has to. Like, look at him in Marvel Rivals. He's flirting with almost every other girl. Almost every single girl, he's flirting with them in that game. And I feel like, once again, same thing with the old one, Human Torch, flirting with a ton of girls, had baddies on each arm. He's not flirting that hard in the new movie, but he's got different type of riz. I'm going to get to it. But let's just talk about Chris Evans first. Once again, perfect casting, but just really terrible writing. Now, talking about Joseph Quinn as Human Torch. Once again, I really like him, and I'm kind of conflicted, right? Because, like, Human Torch in the old Fantastic Fours is kind of like more comic accurate, because he's just like so over the top, this guy who's like, you know, I'm just the greatest thing in the world and everyone loves me and I love pissing off the thing, kind of shit like that. But they give him a lot more nuance in the new movies, which I do appreciate. It's not like he's not a complete pussy, like he's not talking to women. Like, what the Human Torch has in the new movie is actually what I call cosmic riz. Hell yeah. You know, because I remember there's really a line in the movie, he's like, I love women, I love space, so sexy space woman, you know what I'm saying? And then one time I remember also in the movie, the Thing was telling him, yo, why don't you go shoot her? And then he's telling the Thing, he's like, I don't tell you how to fly, don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens. And the Thing's like, stop calling her sexy. So I mean, you and me both, pal. Yo, Johnny Storm might just be me, you know? Yeah, I know a lot of people freaked out when they saw a female Silver Surfer. I'm not one of them, because first of all, I know that she already exists in the mythos as Shala Bal, and certain continuities, I believe she's like Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad, Silver Surfer's wife, Ting, whatever the fuck. And I think Silver Surfer became the Silver Surfer so he can take over work for her, so she wouldn't have to be the Herald anymore, right? But once again, I wasn't crying MCU because it's a girl, and even if the girl replaced a character, right, that doesn't mean as well. Like, for example, I hate Taskmaster in MCU, not because it's a woman, but it's because personality wise, it's nothing like Taskmaster. You're just a fucking robot. right? That's why I hate Taskmaster MCU. Not because it's a woman, because it's the complete opposite. It has nothing to do with Taskmaster at all. Taskmaster is a badass who looks at a TV or looks at someone and memorizes it instantly. You need a fucking computer to do that. How's that the same thing? It's not the same thing, bro. Taskmaster is pure skill and photographic memory, whereas you is, let me plug myself in. Oh yeah, click, clack. Oh yeah, now I got it. You hacked it. You hacked the game is what you did. You fucking modder. Yeah, so woman does not equal woke. Woman replacing man also does not equal woke. But these are nuances you got to take into consideration. So once again, I wasn't too mad about Shalabal instead of Norin Rad, because once again, I understand the source material because I'm not a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? And I think before opening my mouth, essentially, she doesn't aura farm as much as Norin Rad. I obviously like this. Bro was the original aura farmer before aura was even a thing. Bro was just farming. Bro didn't even do anything the entire movie. He was just like rolling around on a skateboard. Surfboard, just aura farming everywhere. I mean, even the coolest guy, which is ironic, in the room, which is Johnny Storm, even he said, oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You gotta admit it, yeah. And obviously, like, my main reaction after seeing Silver Surfer in the new movie is, who's gonna say no to that shit? Huh? Who's gonna say no to a sexy space alien? And I don't know about you, but bro, I'm not even Galactus can pull me out. Not even a black hole can pull me out, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here, bro. Once again, comparing Silver Surfer to Shalabal, he just aura farms more, is what it is. He's just way fucking cooler. And Shalabal, once again, even their arcs are very similar. Like, if you look at this one, what happens? Human Torch chases him. In the new one, Human Torch chases her. And then one of the characters says something to the Silver Surfer, and then that gives them a change of heart, and then they rebel against Galactus, essentially. Except in the old movie, it was an Invisible Woman who said something to Norin Rad, who got him to change his mind. And in the new one, it was Joseph Quinn, Human Torch, who basically just rizzed her so hard that she had to leave and come back at the end of the movie to sacrifice herself to save everyone else, right? Now, we don't know if she's alive or dead because she just got sucked in the portal with Galactus, so chances are she's probably with him in a different universe. So she's probably still alive. We're probably going to see her again, I feel like, and I hope we do, because she did a good job as Silver. But once again, like I said, going back to the Cosmic Riz, bro literally heard 2 seconds of dialogue from her, recorded in his space helmet. And once again, this is what I'm talking about, giving a more nuance. In the old movies, they didn't really display how smart Johnny Storm is, because again, these are all astronauts, right? They all have to be relatively smart. They don't just like a bunch of randos go to space. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't really show him. They didn't really show how smart he was in the old movies. But in this one, it's on full display. Bro locked in the second he saw a sexy space alien, a space baddie. His cosmic level riz just literally clicked in. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna lock in right now. And then he literally found a way to translate and bring up a dead alien language. Well, probably not dead, but what I'm saying, for him, like, it's an ancient old language. It's not of this earth. Bro locked in so hard. He was so committed to the game, right? The Riz, that he legit found out what her language was, and then made a whole sentence. It's literally the equivalent of having bagging a Latina baddie by learning Spanish on Duolingo. He did that, but for, like, obviously much harder, because he has literally deciphering an ancient alien language. He did all that just to riz her up. And once again, like I said, it worked, because he riz her up so bad that she legit just left and then rebelled against her master. This man right here, Joseph Quinn's Human Torch, will go down in history as one of the greatest players of the game. Hell yeah. Who else would really be doing it like him, bro? Come on. Cosmic level riz? Don't even get me started, bro. The second he saw her, like, you know what? I'm gonna get that. Hell yeah. The second he saw that, like, you know what? I don't know who this Galactus guy is, but he ain't getting in my way. Yeah, I mean, once again, like, when you talk about Riz lords and people who Riz super hard, right? You gotta put Joseph Quinn's Human Torch in the conversation, because, bro, look, who else be doing it like him, right? He's on another level. Honestly, hats off to you. Which is why, like, I'm honestly be inclined to say, despite how good Chris Evans was, I still think Joseph Quinn's Human Torch is probably better. Because once again, like, bagging human girls is not that hard, especially if you're a good looking like Chris Evans and you got the superpowers and you're rich and stuff. It's not that hard. But an alien baddie, come on. She was asexual for all we knew. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even have a man. But he literally rizzed her so hard that somewhere in her distant, dormant alien heart started beating again. And next thing you know, like, she's literally sacrificing herself. Bro, you met this man yesterday. He rizzed you for 2 seconds, and now you're sacrificing yourself for him. I'll be inclined to say, yeah. Also, the sacrifice play that he was about to do, right? Joseph Quinn's Human Torch, he was about to literally sacrifice him. He was like, okay, tell Franklin that his uncle loves him. He was literally about to go inside Ram, full speed, inside of Galactus to push him through the portal. But obviously, then his main boo, essentially, that he's been trying to resist this entire time. She showed up and she essentially saved him, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just peak all around. Really good Silver Surfer. Once again, the Silvers are kind of the same, like I said, because the way their story ends is literally the exact same way. They come to Earth, they talk to one of the people, they change their mind, they come back and they rebel against Galactus. That's literally how it happens in both movies. Except in the new one, it's way more interesting because, once again, he rises her. Like, you just can't beat the power of that raise, you know what I'm saying, bro? So definitely, if I had to give a rating, who I like more, Chris Evans or Joseph Quinn as Human Torch, I have to give it Joseph Quinn. I mean, who really be doing like him? Nobody. Like, bro, give him the crown, let him sit on the throne as one of the greatest Rizzers of all time. Like, bro, come on, the Riz Lord out here, you know what I'm saying? Who really be doing like him? Come on. Can we talk about Galactus for a little bit? Finally, I mean, it only took so long. It took 4 tries. Like, once again, fourth time is the charm. It only took them 4 tries, but they finally got it right. They finally gave us a Galactus that actually is right? Now, apparently they say that Galactus, there's only one in each multiverse. So no matter which, like, you know how characters have different variations in different multiverses? Galactus is only one. There's only one Galactus, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Because, like, no matter what media is in, it's going to be the same Galactus, right? So the one from the Rise of the Silver Surfer, same one, right? But the main problem I had with that movie was that we didn't even know what the fuck Galactus looked like. It was merely a silhouette. He was a cloud. Why was Galactus a cloud? As far as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. No, as far as I can remember, Galactus has always been this guy sitting in a giant chair with this giant purple hat. You know what I'm saying? Large alien space guy, purple, sitting in a chair. You know what I'm saying? Not to be confused with Thanos, of course. You know what I'm saying? But we never saw that. We never saw that in the original. I mean, there was no Galactus in the original. It was Doctor Doom. I want to talk about Doctor Doom, but I think we'll say that for when Doomsday comes out, because then we can compare it. And trust me, there's a lot to talk about the Doctor Dooms, because wow, is it bad? But we're talking about Galactus right now. Yeah, there was no Galactus in the first Fantastic Four movie. And the second one, Silver Surfer, he was in that. But once again, he didn't say anything. We didn't even see a physical manifestation of a guy. He was literally just a cloud. Oh, this cloud's about to engulf the Earth and eat it. That is not fun. Because me personally, the way I base my understanding of Galactus is through this game right here, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 to be specific. This game is just peak. But yeah, in this game, basically, it's kind of the main plot of a lot of these Fantastic Four films. Galactus is going to devour the planet, so you got to stop him. At least when you play the arcade mode, that's what happens. Galactus shows up, and yo, when I was a kid playing this game, I was getting my shit smacked left, right, and center by, first of all, Galactus's heralds, right? I wouldn't even make it to Galactus. Because Galactus would buff up like some random people like Wesker and Doctor Doom and Akuma. They would be his heralds. So he bestows his cosmic power on them, Marvel and Capcom characters, and then they would proceed to kick my shit. And I'm not even kidding you, bro. That shit was so hard as a kid because they were just unrelenting. Right, they would do one combo and I would die. Right, so as a kid, yeah, obviously, like as I grew older and I became more of a veteran gamer, I managed to kick his ass pretty good. Obviously, difficulty matters, right? But when I finally did manage to get to Galactus somehow, he had this crazy attacks that he takes up the entire screen. He's huge. He's like slamming, he's like laser beams everywhere, and I just die instantly. He grabs you and he slams you on the ground. He was really overwhelming in that game, and I was scared when I was a kid, bro. I was fucking scared of Galactus, especially when he would eventually kill you, because once again, you can't beat Galactus like you can't combo him, is what I'm trying to say, right? You can jump up in his face and keep on hitting him and stuff like that, but he can just swat you away. He takes no stun damage. He just stands there and he just fucking takes it. You know what I'm saying? And then so once again, avoiding him, you have to use a completely different tactic to fight Galactus. But when you finally manage to kill him, it was peak, you know what I'm saying? And when you lose, he just literally destroys the entire planet in front of you, which is quite scary. But yeah, basically that's the very first time I saw Galactus in any media, and that's what I base every Galactus on. And I gotta say, this Galactus, pretty accurate, pretty good. But yeah, this Galactus, very solid, classic look, very menacing too. I remember when he was stretching Reed apart like some string cheese, and he was just smiling. Like, yo, it's no longer about just food, is it? He's always talking about, oh yeah, I'm such a tragic character. I'm just so hungry all the time. Give me food, bro. You were enjoying stretching that man apart, weren't you? It's not just about food, is it? You like it when you destroy planets. You sick fuck. You know what I'm saying? Although I will say Galactus has a villain. Like, I'm sure he doesn't have any malicious intent. Like, he doesn't want to. Like, I'm sure if there's another way he could feed him his huge hunger, he would do that. But at the moment, he can only do that by destroying planets. So it is what it is, you know? Like, is a lion evil for eating a gazelle? You know, it's also all a matter of perspective, essentially, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's like survival. Kind of like all the evil robots in any sci-fi film, are they evil because they have no emotion? But, like, except for Am, that motherfucker's straight up evil. But, like, say the Skynet, or the machines from the Matrix, right? How are they evil? Just trying to sustain themselves? If self-sustenance is evil, then every human's evil. Then I don't know. I'm not getting into that, but I'm glad to say, yeah, we finally got Greg Galactus. Amazing, perfect. Yeah, we finally got the entire Fantastic Four fighting against Galactus. Like I said, this is peak Fantastic Four. There was no better Fantastic Four movie than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we finally see Galactus. Like, the first time we see him is like huge. You can't comprehend. Like, he doesn't fit the screen. Like, he's so big. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. So, and he's sitting on a chair too, right? Because he's like, obviously not gonna like walk around in space. He's gonna be like scooting around in his hovercraft chair. Ooh. Obviously, he ain't really doing shit. That's why he has a herald, right? He tells her to go run across the universe and do some shit to scan out the planets so I can eat him, essentially, right? But most of the time, he's just sitting there aura farming, chilling on his chair like this. In a huge fucking chair, right? So anyway, we finally, finally got a proper Galactus. And I love how, like, you can't really kill a guy, because we're like four people, regular ass humans. I mean, of course they're enhanced, but compared to Galactus, I mean, that guy is insane. Like, how are you even, you need the entire combined might of every single superhero on the planet to kill that guy, maybe. I know that happened in the Marvel Zombies comic. I remember that happened, where they actually killed Galactus and they ate him. And then now you got like Marvel zombie, like Marvel characters who are zombified but also have the power of cosmic. Ooh, that's scary. That's scary. They should do something more with the Marvel zombie IP. I feel like, because people love zombies, right? Like, it's all the rage. I mean, not as much as it used to be, but people still love zombies. You know, like the genre of zombies is still popular. You know, so they should probably do something with that. But I see why they wouldn't do that, because Marvel has a family-friendly, wholesome image, and zombies is not that. Because I'm pretty sure like Spider-Man fucking eats Aunt May in that story. Yeah, it's quite dark. Overall, very well done, Galactus. Although I must say that there wasn't really much of a competition, because once again, like in the previous movies, he only showed up once in Fantastic Four, and even then he was a cloud. So once again, like I said, the bar's on the floor. So all they had to do was make a semi-decent job of the character, which they did, and that's it. That's all that matters, right? And once again, that wasn't so hard, was it? Just make a giant purple dude who sits on a chair, right? And it looks really, really scary. And that's pretty much it. It was that easy. Who the fuck told you to make a cloud? Okay, now obviously talking about the Thing. The thing is, he's cool in this movie, although I do like Michael Chiklis' performance more. I feel like, you know what it is? Yeah, you know what it is? Because in the original movies, like this one right here, he's more accepted in this one. But in this one, they really showed like what it was like right after they got their powers. How it was okay for everyone else, because everyone else looked normal, you know, except they had powers internally. But the Thing, like, he couldn't turn that shit off, right? Johnny could turn the flames on and off. Sue can become invisible and not invisible. Reed can stretch and not stretch, but the Thing can't turn that shit off, which is probably like the worst fucking thing, right? Because his girlfriend, which is another reason why we always hate Andrea, no matter where she goes, bro. Rip Laurie Holden, because no matter what role she plays, she will forever be relegated as Andrea, and everyone fucking hates her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, another reason they hate Andrea. But yeah, I really like how they showed the Thing actually struggling to, you know, be reintegrated into society, because everyone fucking thinks he's a freak until he met that blind chick. Okay, first of all, how weird is that? That they literally, the only person who could tolerate the Thing was blind. So they're saying that if you're ugly, just go end up with someone who can't see you. End up with someone who doesn't know how ugly you are. That's really kind of funny though, if you think about it. That's really kind of mad. It's like, I'm not saying like she ain't attractive. Alicia, I think that was her name. But yo, that's actually kind of mad, bro. Like, I'm right? Like, it's kind of crazy that the only person who could end up with the Thing was a blind chick. That's actually mad, bro. Of course, in Silver Surfer, he's a lot more recognized, and people accept him now because they know he's a Thing. He's a chill guy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like out of all the characters in First Steps, the Thing, he's just there. I feel like I don't see much of. I don't know. Like, he just, yeah. I mean, I don't like. He doesn't have any standout moments. He can fly a ship, which is cool, and it's clobbering time. I think the only thing interesting is that his avoidance of his catchphrase being "it's clobbering time." Like, he's been avoiding it this entire movie, and then at the end, when, you know, Johnny's about to ram him inside of, I gotta say that I gotta stop saying that. It sounds fucking weird as hell. Ramming into Galactus. Yo, relax. Pause. You know what I'm saying? He's about to throw. He's gonna use the Thing as a pinball or a bowling ball. What the fuck are these analogies, man? Okay, he's going to lift the Thing and then throw him onto Galactus to cause him to be off balance. There you go. Okay, so he's doing that, and then at the end of the movie, he's like, okay, it's clobbering time. Finally, I'm gonna say it. That's the only really interesting thing I got out of the Thing in this movie, because once again, majority of it was mostly just Invisible Woman, Reed, and Johnny. Once again, Johnny came in clutch because he kind of saved the day, right? Because if it wasn't for him, I still think they would have won, because Johnny. Okay, if Johnny did not riz her, then he would have been sacrificed instead of her. Because once again, if he didn't riz her, Although I couldn't even say that, because if he did not riz the Silver Surfer, then she probably would have came back to get rid of the last what do you call it, portal. Yeah, so they would have been fucked. So once again, his rizzing, his top tier riz game literally saved the world. So I mean, next time you say that, hey yo, pay attention, yo, I'm locked the fucking, this is my game, bro. Bagging baddies is what I do, because I'm the Human Torch. Flame on, you know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. So yeah, Michael Chiklis, I just like more, maybe because I like the New York accent a lot more too. I like his accent, the way he talks in the older movies, Yancey Street and shit like that, you know. He seems a lot more mild mannered. In the new one, not a bad thing, but I just liked the older portrayal. Once again, not taking sides here, I think they're both great, but if I had to give a rating, I'd probably give it to the older thing. So and I feel like obviously you can't really talk about the movie without talking about Pedro Pascal, who obviously played Mr. Fantastic. Now, I know the whole controversy going on that he's touching people. First of all, I think it's two consenting adults. The only time I saw that was a little overboard, that was not right, was when he touched Willem Dafoe's wife, because Willem Dafoe actually looked fucking pissed. And before someone said, oh yeah, well, he always touches his female co-star, what about his male? Yo, have you not seen a single interview with him and Oscar Isaac? He's literally all over that man. Literally. If anything's even worse with the male, because he don't have to worry about that, right? Like with the females, he'll maybe like touch their arm or their face or whatever the fuck, or put his hands through his hair. But once again, these are two consenting adults. If they don't have a problem with it, if they don't look visibly disturbed, then it should be fine, right? Once again, why the fuck do you matter, right? And I think it's a bigger tell on you that you're saying that because women don't want you to touch them like that, right? You're just mad that you can't touch women like that, right? Because maybe women feel comfortable around them. I don't know, that they're allowing it. So this whole hate train with Pedro Pascal, I don't really understand it. Could it be because he supports Palestine? I don't know, right? But there's also another way of thinking that he's like the Hollywood's new guy. You know, he's the guy in Hollywood. He's getting all these roles. Why? Because Hollywood's trying to push him, give him as much exposure as possible, because they want him to be the face of Hollywood. Because once again, he checks all the boxes. He's Hispanic, so he's a minority. He has sexual ambiguity, so he could be gay, he could be straight. We don't actually fucking know. I don't think he knows either. But once again, that's part of the whole diversity checkbox, right? He says all the right things. He's just a wholesome guy to be around, apparently, right? We don't know what happens behind the scenes. Obviously, this is Hollywood after all, so a lot of fucked up things gonna happen. So a lot of people are saying that the reason why he's getting away with all this because Hollywood is backing him, that he can do whatever he wants. But I don't think he's no Diddy. You know, like I can, you get a feeling from a person, and my Spidey seems to be saying that I don't think he's like a Diddy type of character. You know what I'm saying? I mean, once again, they also accused Michael Jackson of touching kids, and I don't think he did it at all. He just spoke out against Sony, and then he ended up dead. So, like I said, Hollywood, it's a cutthroat business. You know what I'm saying? You're either with them or against them, and if they see that you're not so loyal to them, they'll just cut you off, and they won't. I mean, they'll kill you later, but first they'll discredit you and ruin your image and your reputation. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they're trying to do that with Pedro Pascal, but once again, Hollywood's backing him. It is kind of annoying, he has in everything nowadays. I don't mind it because he's a good actor, right? So it's okay. If he was like if like Gal Gadot got pushed and everything, which she kind of does. She has way many roles than she's supposed to, seeing how terrible of an actor she is, and also just a terrible human being because she's Israeli. But yeah, but the fact that they're pushing Pedro Pascal, I don't hate it too much, because once again, I like the guy. He's not terrible. I haven't seen him in too many things actually. Think about it, Pedro Pascal. I haven't seen him. I'm gonna watch Gladiator 2, so we'll see him in that. Overall, Pedro Pascal, the hate train, am I part of it? No. I'm still skeptical. I'm not like taking sides here, but I'm just saying it's like, if he's okay, the whole touching situation, they're consenting adults, okay? Like if he's touching a kid like that, I maybe get it, right? And on the other side, he also touches men. If anything, he touches them more, right? He's gonna oil them up essentially, right? That's some shit that Pedro Pascal would do to his male co-stars. He's gonna oil them up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the whole touching situation, I don't really believe it, because once again, they're consenting adults and they're allowing it. Vanessa Kirby is a pregnant woman and she's married, so if she's allowing it, it's not a one-way thing, right? She also reciprocates the same amount of thing, right? So he's not the only one to blame here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get that part. The part where he's being pushed into Hollywood, he definitely is, because once again, he checks all the boxes of diversity and sexual ambiguity and saying all the right political points and stuff like that. He does support Palestine, which might be a problem for the Hollywood elites, because they don't like that, because obviously we all know who owns Hollywood and America in general. So I don't know, I'm really divided with Pedro Pascal. At the moment, I do not hate him like most people do. It's a really weird shift, right? How like everyone from loving Pedro Pascal to low-key hating him. It's like almost as if Lex Luthor's monkeys are working on something behind the scenes. Yes, sir. And me personally, until further investigation, until further evidence comes out, I can't really say anything. And even then, we don't know if the evidence has been tampered with, because these people make up evidence. We are in the age of deception. where you can't, seeing is no longer believing, you know, like you see a news article, even seeing images and photos aren't real anymore because of AI. So we're kind of just cooked overall, if you think about it. In terms of journalism, like we're fucked, you know, it's just not good. Half of the journalists are bot, and those who aren't end up fucking, surprisingly, they ended up dead. Surprisingly, somehow they got suicidal and they killed themselves. Yeah, it totally wasn't the CIA. Oh, probably shouldn't say that. Once again, this is a small ass channel. I doubt anyone's even watching this, but if you are, you know it's good. Yeah, but see, the thing is, if I have to be completely transparent, it would not be a stretch to say that this movie is absolute fire. Okay? And hands down, the best Fantastic Four movie of the name, that says Fantastic Four in the title, of all time, at the moment. Once again, the bar was on the floor, so all they had to do was make a genuinely good Fantastic Four movie, right? And both the DC and Marvel fans are blessed to have Superman and Fantastic Four within the same month, which is why I call it the Super Fantastic month, which is the reason why I went to the theaters. And I never go to theaters, right? But and I really, really enjoy this movie. From the central role that Sue takes, which is really, really nice, and being essentially almost like the powerhouse and, like I said, the glue that holds the family together, to Johnny Storm having just insane amount of Riz. Like, once again, he's on the Mount Rushmore of Riz now. He has to be considered for the top 4, the top 3 Rizzers of all time. I mean, who really be doing that shit for the game? He's doing it for the pure love of the game, man. He didn't even care. He's like, yo, watch me Riz this alien body just because I can. Really good movie, really good Marvel movie. Once again, it's good to see that Marvel's finally back on track with Thunderbolts. That was also great, and now with this, so it's like they're almost coming out of their dark era, which is post Endgame. Everything was just garbage, except for a few exceptions. But once again, it's a good Marvel movie. It actually takes its theme seriously. It isn't joking like every other second like it has been a Marvel, right? It's a much more darker, much more somber tone of this movie, but also lighthearted because it's a family movie essentially, right? And it's about, you know, being a family and working together, and if you have problems, you do that together. When you celebrate, you celebrate together as well. So once again, hands down, better than both of these movies, and definitely better than Fan Four Stick. Fan Four Stick is the worst, and I will never stop dunking on it ever. Okay, I had a really fun time watching the movie, and I would 100% watch it again. I encourage you to watch it again if you have seen it, and if you haven't seen it, watch it now. It's probably still in theaters. It came out the 25th. Yeah, okay, so it's probably still in theaters. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the Fantastic Four first steps review, and all I can say is, 4th time's the charm. Bye.